So you're thinking about moving to Reston, Virginia, and you're looking to learn as much as possible in a 15+ minute video? Well, you're in the right spot because this will be the ultimate guide to living in Reston, Virginia. In this video, I'm gonna share with you map views. We're gonna check out Reston Town Center. We're gonna dive into the style of homes. We're gonna tour the Lakes of Reston, plus fantastic drone footage of Reston all throughout this video and so much more. So let's dive right into it. Boom! Hey everybody, it's David, your favorite realtor. So we're gonna start this video off with the location and map views of Reston. So Reston is gonna be a suburb of Washington, D.C., and it's gonna be located in Fairfax County. And the surrounding towns to Reston is gonna be Herndon, Great Falls, Vienna, and Oakton. And then Reston is gonna be about 6 miles away from Dulles International Airport. And it is awesome having an airport in your backyard. Literally, you can get from Reston Town Center to Dulles in about 7 minutes. It literally does not get better than that. Now, there's definitely gonna be a con of having an airport in your backyard. You will hear airplane noise. However, if you're inside your house with the windows closed, you're barely gonna notice the airplane noise. So really, it's a small inconvenience at worst. And then Reston is gonna be about 22 miles away from Washington, D.C. So you can actually commute from Reston to D.C. in under an hour during rush hour, assuming there's no major accidents. So you can definitely live in Reston and work in D.C. Now, it's not the easiest commute of all time, but it's definitely doable. Now, great benefit to the location of Reston is you have 3 major commuter routes that go through Reston, so it's super easy and convenient to commute to the rest of the region. So let me jump on my screen real quick and I'll show you the 3 major commuter routes. All right, as you can see, Reston is highlighted right here. And the first major commuter route I want to show you is gonna be Fairfax County Parkway. As you can see, it goes right through Reston, and in one direction will take you to the Sterling area, and then the other direction of Fairfax County Parkway will take you to like the Fairfax area, Fairfax Station, and Burke. Now let's go back to Reston. Now the next major commuter route, and this is gonna be right in the edge of Reston, and that's gonna be Route 7. So one direction, Route 7, is gonna take you to Sterling, Lansdowne, Ashburn, and Leesburg. And in the other direction, it's gonna take you to Great Falls and the Tyson's Corner area. And then you have the Dulles Toll Road. As you can see, it goes right through Reston. And in one direction, it takes you straight to Dulles International Airport, which I said takes about 7 minutes. And then it takes you to the Ashburn-Bramilton area into Leesburg. And then the opposite direction of the toll road, it's gonna take you to Tyson's Corner. And then eventually it turns into 66, which will take you to Arlington and Washington, D.C. So a pro tip I can share with you is if you are relocating to Northern Virginia and you're trying to decide between living in Fairfax County, where Reston is located, or the county next door in Loudoun County, well, I definitely recommend come for a scouting trip before you make your decision to move here. And when you're here on your scouting trip, get a hotel in Reston because it's a very central location between Fairfax County and Loudoun County. So it's gonna be easy to commute and check out neighborhoods that you may or may not be interested in. Plus, there's a ton of great restaurants in Reston, so that's a nice bonus. Next, we're gonna talk about Reston Town Center, AKA RTC. So Reston Town Center is gonna be a mixed-use development, which in my mind is a city in itself, featuring high-rise luxury condos, retail stores, office buildings, grocery store, and a ton of great restaurants. And when it comes to restaurants you'll find in Reston Town Center, basically anything your heart desires you're gonna find there, whether you're looking for a fine dining steakhouse with Morton's and Ruth Chris, or you're looking for a Brazilian steakhouse with Fogo de Chao, or a great place to go for happy hour with both an inside and outside bar at Jackson's. And these restaurant options are just the tip of the iceberg. And this I can promise you, if you live in Reston Town Center or close to it, you will never go hungry. And then throughout the year, you can see many events take place in Reston Town Center, like 5K walks, outdoor boot camp workouts, the Taste of Reston, which is an annual outdoor food festival that goes on for 2 full days. Also, there's an outdoor pavilion that turns into an ice skating rink during the winter. And you'll find concerts in Reston Town Center as well. In fact, most people do not know this, but Rihanna actually performed a concert in Reston Town Center back in like 2005 or 2006. Now, obviously, this is way before she blew up, but it's pretty cool. One of the biggest, pop stars of the 21st century actually played in Reston Town Center. So Reston Town Center will always have a special place in my heart because before I got into real estate, I actually worked in Reston Town Center for 10+ years, and I met my wife in Reston Town Center. Some of my best friends who I'm still friends with today, I met in Reston Town Center. In fact, I just celebrated my 43rd birthday earlier this month in Reston Town Center, and it was a lot of fun. Wasn't feeling too great the next day, but it was definitely well worth it. So if I was personally relocating to Northern Virginia from another part of the country and I wasn't quite sure where I wanted to live full time in Northern Virginia, I would 100% rent a condo in Reston Town Center for a year. One, it's gonna be a great way to meet other people. Plus, you have the convenience of all these restaurants and shops right in your backyard. Now, the newest addition to Reston Town Center is the Reston Town Center Metro Station, and this has been a game changer for the town center. So now you have super easy access to get to Dulles International Airport, Tyson's Corner, Arlington, DC, all the way into Maryland. So the condos in Reston Town Center, it's gonna be about a 7 to 11 minute walk from your front door all the way to the metro station. And in fact, I have a lot of friends and past clients who live in Reston Town Center and they work in Tyson's or Arlington, and a lot of them will take the metro and they'll tell me, David, my car is literally collecting dust because since I don't have to drive to work and everything I need to live is right here in Reston Town Center, I never drive. So Reston Town Center is definitely one of the few places in the county where you can actually live without having to have a car. So without question, Reston Town Center is the crown jewel of Reston, and in my mind, it's the best town center in our region. So if you end up living in Reston or even close by, there's a 100% chance that you will definitely be going to Reston Town Center. Now, as much as I love making YouTube videos about living right here in Northern Virginia, what I love even more is helping folks just like you relocate to the area. So if you're even thinking about moving to Northern Virginia, reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Just know I got your back when you move into Northern Virginia. Next, we're gonna talk about the style and prices of homes in Reston. So in Reston, you're gonna find a style of home and budget for everyone. Whether you're looking for a high-rise 2-bedroom condo that's walking distance to restaurants, or you're a first-time home buyer looking for an affordable starter townhouse, or you're a move-up buyer and want a luxury townhouse with a rooftop terrace, or you're looking for your forever home and a great place to raise a family with a single-family home. So whatever your home needs are, you'll definitely find it in Reston. Now, one of the biggest pros of the homes in Reston is you'll find a lot of unique contemporary style homes that have a lot of charm and designs that you're not gonna find in most of our region. So if you're not looking for a cookie cutter home, then Reston's definitely what you're looking for. But with that being said, there's still a lot of cookie cutter homes in Reston as well. Now, the biggest con with the homes in Reston is Reston has a lot of older homes. In fact, 64% of all the homes in Reston were built before 1985. Now, there has been a lot of new construction townhomes built in Reston in the past 5 years, but when it comes to single family homes, completely different story. In fact, only 13 single family homes out of 6,000 homes, by the way, in Reston were built after 2007. However, there is a new construction single family home community being built right now called Fairfax Hunt Estates. Now, it's only going to consist of 8 single-family homes, and they're all going to be priced around $2.4 million. Now, let's look at the home prices. So the median sales price of a home in Reston comes out to $611,000. Now, let's compare that to the Northern Virginia region as a whole, and that number comes out to $720,000. So Reston homes are 15% less than the region's median sales price. Now, I know what you're thinking. David, $611,000 median sales price? I'm moving to Reston tomorrow. Now, I will say this, that median sales price number is very misleading because 34% of all the homes in Reston are actually condos, and a lot of those condos actually sell for $375,000 or less, which brings the median sales price numbers way down. However, if you remove condos from the equation and just look at townhomes and single-family homes, then home prices in Reston are very comparable to the rest of the region in terms of median sales price. Now let's look at condos. So condos start off in the low 200,000s, and now to get you a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, about 700 square feet, most likely built in the 60s or 70s, and they go up to $1.5 million. This would be a 3-bedroom, 3-bath, over 2,200 square feet in a high-rise luxury condo in Reston Town Center. Now, with that being said, there's actually a new construction 3-bedroom condo on sale right now in Reston with a starting price of $3.5 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, but we're gonna talk more about that later on in the video. Now let's look at townhomes. And the median sales price of a townhouse in Reston comes out to $670,000. And they're gonna start off in the low 400,000s. This will get you a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,100 square foot townhouse, probably built in the 70s. And they go all the way up to $1.5 million. And this will get you a 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 4,500 square foot townhouse with an elevator and lakefront views. Now, speaking of townhomes, there's a very small neighborhood in Reston that I want to point out. It's one of the most unique neighborhoods I've ever seen anywhere in Northern Virginia, and it's called The Wharf. So The Wharf's going to feature contemporary style townhomes with resort-like waterfront living. And this man-made lake and townhomes are absolutely stunning. I think it's only about 50 townhomes in total. But when I was driving through Reston to get drone shots for this video, I knew I had to get a drone shot of The Wharf. Now let's check out single family homes. So the median sales price of a single family home in Reston comes out to $1,055,000. And they're gonna start off in the low 600,000s. This will get you like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,100 square foot single family home, probably built in the 60s or 70s. And they go all the way up to $2.9 million. And this will get you a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, 5,000 square foot single family home, and might even be a lakefront home with great lake views. So whatever style of home and budget you're looking for, you're definitely gonna find it in Reston. Next, we're gonna talk about the Lakes of Reston. So you may not know this, but Reston's actually a lake town featuring 5 lakes, 4 of which are man-made, including Lake Anne, Lake Fairfax, Lake Newport, Lake Audubon, and Lake Thorough. So you can actually do a lot of activities on the lakes like canoeing, paddleboarding, kayaking, lakeside picnicking, and catch and release fishing. So Reston lakes are a no-wake zone, so you can't have any internal combustion engine boats. However, you can have an electric motorized pontoon boat, and they go about 3 miles an hour. And a lot of residents on the lakes have these pontoon boats, and a lot of them are docked right outside of their house. It's very cool. So I want to highlight a few of the lakes in Reston. First, you have Lake Anne, and this is the heart and soul of Reston, and is the original town center that goes all the way back to the 60s when Reston was originally developed. So Lake Anne's gonna feature condos, lakefront homes, restaurants, and retail. Now Lake Anne's definitely on the older side as it was built in the 60s. It is definitely starting to show its age, but I really feel like it's a sleeping giant, and a redevelopment could really enhance Lake Anne tenfold. Redevelopment is definitely on the table. In fact, Fairfax County has started an economic visioning study to see what a future redevelopment will look like. And then you have Lake Fairfax, which is actually a Fairfax County park featuring 476 acres of family-friendly activities like campgrounds, skate park, and a massive water park with water slides, lazy river. In fact, it's actually the biggest water park in all of Fairfax County. So I'm filming this video at the end of August, so summer's basically over. And I'm kind of bummed I was not able to make it to the water park this summer. So it is definitely on my to-do list for summer 2026. The next lake is Lake Thorough. So Lake Thorough is one of Reston's most well-known lakes, which is lined with waterfront townhomes, waterfront condos, and waterfront single-family homes, which makes this lake, along with Lake Audubon, which is right next door, one of the most popular places to live in all of Reston. And you can definitely see why this is one of the most popular places to live in all of Reston. Who wouldn't want a lakefront home? Imagine waking up, having your nice morning coffee overlooking the stunning lake. Now that sounds like a dream, but guess what? It's not a dream. You can find that in Reston. Also with Lake Thorough, you have a trail that goes all the way around the lake called Red Loop Trail. It's about 2 miles long. It's gonna take you about 45 minutes to walk the whole trail. But along the trail, you can find playgrounds for the kiddos, picnic tables, and a ton of great scenic views of the lake. So I could easily do a full 12-minute video on just the lakes alone. And I believe the Lakes of Reston is probably one of the best parts about living here. It really adds to the charm of Reston and sets it apart from other towns in Northern Virginia. Next, let's talk about Reston Station. So Reston Station is gonna be a fully integrated, transit-oriented mixed-use development, and is actually Reston's newest gem. So in Reston Station, you're gonna find a blend of office spaces, retail, entertainment spaces, and a great selection of restaurants, shops, and services. And all of this is centered around the Wheelie-Reston Metro Station. So in Reston Station, you're gonna find a lot of newer luxury townhomes with rooftop terraces that have all been built within the past 5 years. And then you have a high-rise luxury apartment building called Boulevard. Now, a cool thing about Boulevard is, if you're looking for a short-term lease like 3 months or 6 months or even 9 months, then definitely go check out Boulevard because they're one of the few apartment buildings in the region that offer a short-term lease. Now, one of the newest additions that's coming soon to Reston Station is the JW Marriott Hotel and Residence. So this 28-story glass and concrete building would be JW Marriott's first location in Virginia, and it's gonna feature 243 hotel rooms, a 9,000 square foot ballroom, a fine dining restaurant, a signature bar, plus 94 ultra luxurious condos, which are actually currently for sale, which will feature 10-foot floor to ceiling windows, expansive balconies, and high-end finishes throughout. Now let me share with you the prices of these condos at the JW Marriott. And these prices are gonna absolutely shock you. In fact, you may stop watching this video and throw your either computer, laptop, or TV in the trash. So a 1-bedroom with a den has a starting price of $1.4 million. That boggles my mind, $1.4 million for a 1-bedroom. Or a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo has a starting price of $1.6 million, and it gets even crazier. A 3-bedroom condo has a starting price of $3.4 million. $3.4 million for a condo, that is absolutely ridiculous. If I had a client looking for that, I would say just buy a single family home. Don't waste your money in the condo. And not to mention, I'm sure the condo fees on that property is gonna be well over $3,000 a month. So Reston Station is definitely one of the hottest hubs you'll find in Reston. And there's actually proposals in place for a major 130-acre extension as well. And if this was to happen, then Reston Station could definitely overtake Reston Town Center as the crown jewel of Reston. Now, I can't do a full-fledged video on Reston without sharing with you the history of Reston, how it came to be. Now, I know you didn't come for a history lesson, so I'll keep this super short. So New York real estate developer Robert E. Simon founded Reston back in 1964. So in 1961, Robert E. Simon purchased 6,750 acres of land in Fairfax County for $13 million. Now, that was a lot of money back in 1961. But estimates are that that land that he purchased, as currently developed, is worth over $30 billion. So that $13 million he paid for back in 1961 is chump change to what it's worth today. So his vision for Reston was to have a self-contained planned community that offered green space, residential neighborhoods, commercial development, and where people could live, work, and play without having to drive long distances. And let's just say this, his vision came to fruition and a lot more. So Reston's name actually comes from Robert E. Simon's initials, RES, plus ton, which is short for town, and that equals Reston. Now let me see, my initials are DJM, so DJM-ton doesn't have the same ring to it as Reston, which is probably why there's no town named after me. So your history lesson of Reston, it is over, but be ready for a pop quiz tomorrow. I'm just kidding, let's move on to the next part of the video. Next, we have Reston Association. Now without question, one of the biggest cons of living in Reston is most homes, you have to pay for 2 different HOAs. First, you have to pay your local cluster, which is basically a different word for neighborhood. And that's usually anywhere from $120 to $150 per month. And then on top of that, you have to pay Reston Association. And the current dues for 2025 is $848 per year. And the Reston Association dues have definitely risen a lot these past few years. Back in 2021, the yearly dues were only $715. Now the good news is living in Reston is kind of like living in a park, as you're going to find over 1,350 acres of open space, which is all maintained by Reston Association. You're going to find soccer fields, baseball fields, 52 outdoor tennis courts, 15 pools, plus walking and biking trails all throughout Reston. So is that $848 per year worth it? It really depends. If you actually utilize the basketball courts, tennis courts, and pools, it can be worth it. But just so you know, all of Reston has to be a part of the Reston Association. The only exception to that rule is condos in Reston Town Center. Next, let's talk about career opportunities. So in Reston, you're gonna find one of the strongest job markets in our region, as some of the biggest companies in the entire world are located right here in Reston. And this is hands down the top reason why people relocate to Reston in the first place. In fact, most people who reach out to me who are relocating to Reston work in either tech or healthcare. Which makes sense, as Reston anchors the Dulles Tech Corridor, which is home to numerous tech giants like Google, Oracle, Leidos, VeriSign, Booz Allen, and a lot more. Then when it comes to healthcare, you have Reston Hospital Center, which is a full-service 243-bed hospital that's located right next to Reston Town Center. So if you're looking to take your career to the next level, especially if you work in tech or healthcare, then living and working in Reston may be exactly what you're looking for. So I personally have never actually lived in Reston, but like I said, I worked in Reston Town Center for 10 plus years. A lot of my friends live there, helped a lot of clients buy and sell there. So I kind of feel like Reston's my second home. Now, with that being said, there's actually potentially one more con when it comes to living in Reston, but I'm not gonna bring that up in this video. If you wanna know what it is, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. I'll be more than happy to share it with you. But overall, I believe Reston is a fantastic place to live. You have Reston Town Center, stunning lakes, close to the airport, ton of great restaurants, and a lot more. And if you want to learn more about what it's like living in Reston and the rest of Northern Virginia, check out these videos right here. They're gonna be great ways to continue your research, and I'll catch you in the next video.